Part 29. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 282. Continue playing, I'm very comfortable, Lin Feng said with a smile. I don't want to make you feel comfortable. After beating Lin Feng, Dinan burst into tears and choked. Lin Feng, in your heart, have I always been on the same level as Biozi? Lin Feng violently grabbed Dinan's neck, and even made her feel suffocated. Dinan's eyes were a little bigger than before, and tears were still flowing. Lin Feng said, you remember me, my good friend, in my heart, you are very clean. Because you are a woman who is true to life and true to her friends, you are not hypocritical, so you are very clean. Some women have never done bad things, their faces are beautiful and their skin is white and famous. As long as their hearts are hypocritical, then people are not clean. After he finished speaking, he loosened Dinan's neck. Dinan gasped for a moment, threw himself into Lin Feng's arms, and his towering chest collided violently with Lin Feng's body again. At this moment, Dinan's cell phone rang again, and Zhao Fei arrived. Dinan couldn't think about it. Whether a woman is clean or not has a direct relationship with hypocrisy. She and Lin Feng walked out together. They saw Zhao Fei in a gorgeous dress, but she was lonely and sad outside the community. Her eyes were red. Apparently cried many times. Although she is very lonely, despite the difficulties in love, she still dresses up beautifully, because she has more good clothes than before. If not, she can't wear them. Dinan said, let's go back and say. Zhao Fei choked and hummed, and quickly looked at Lin Feng. It was definitely a pleading look. She trembled. Lin Feng, you are very capable, you have to help me with Dinan, I have ridiculed you a lot before. Time. But I have always admired you in my heart. Really, please. Lin Feng said, I will help you, because helping you is also helping Xingguo, but you must also know that I am a human being, not a god. Some things can only be done as best as possible, but may not achieve the desired results. Zhao Fei said that maybe Xingguo also wanted to contact you, but now that he has let his father control it, he can no longer contact you. Lin Feng, as long as you do your best, I don't want to have any regrets. I really want to spend a lifetime with Spark. At this time, Lin Feng also experienced a kind of truth from Zhao Fei. Although Zhao Fei and Dinan had played the same faith game before, like paint and glue, she and Dinan were two different people. Zhao Fei used to be hypocritical, but Dinan was never hypocritical. Lin Feng has always been able to find that kind of invaluable truth from Dinan, but Lin Feng never found that kind of invaluable truth from Zhao Fei before. At this moment, Zhao Fei is very real. Hope this really stays with her forever. They went to Lin Feng's room together and sat on the sofa. When contemporary Nan comforted Zhao Fei, Lin Feng brought tea over. Lin Feng said, although it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, let's drink some tea, which can make people clear. Zhao Fei said, now Xingguo and I are both clear-headed. Li Yang's mind is not clear. Lin Feng said, maybe Li Yang's mind is really not clear, but we have to slowly wake him up. Xingguo is tied up, you can't mess around. Now is the most critical moment, and Li Yang cares about you the most. The moment of words and deeds. If you mess up, then his impression of you will be worse, and if you behave well at this time, your impression in his eyes will be extra points. Dinan said, Xiao Fei, what Lin Feng said just now makes sense. It is better than reading books for several years. You must take it to heart. Zhao Fei nodded heavily, tears streaming down her face. Lin Feng said, hurry up and stop crying, I'm afraid you have cried many times before, and you will cry again. It is easy to wash out the retina. What Nan and Zhao Fei thought about at this time was, is it possible that human retinas can be washed away by tears? It seems impossible. But Lin Feng's words just now had a certain effect, and Zhao Fei's tears stopped. Lin Feng said, Zhao Fei, do you really love Xingguo? Maybe this question is a bit redundant, but Lin Feng really wanted to hear what Zhao Fei said at the moment. Zhao Fei said, I love him very much. When I first got along with him, I was in the mood to give it a try. Later, after a long journey together, I really wanted to spend a lifetime with him. Lin Feng said, very touching, I thought. Zhao Fei said, do you want to kill Li Yang? Lin Feng said, how could I kill him? If I kill him, Li Xingguo will take revenge for killing his father if he never gets married. Can you speak at a level? Even if your brain is kicked by a donkey, since you don't have cerebral palsy, you should be cured, right? Zhao Fei said embarrassedly, I'm sorry, I'm speaking coldly again, but you have to believe that I am indeed better now than before. Lin Fengzin said, I don't know whether you are more level on the bed or more level under the bed. Seeing your sincere affection for Xingguo, I don't think you are going to be evil. He said, I just meant that I will take the risk of being a big deal tomorrow to talk to Li Yang, and see what effect it can have, and then decide what to do next. Zhao Fei said, thank you, if you help me and Xingguo, we will both repay you in the future. Can you say something useful? Lin Feng is simply not angry. In fact, even now, Li Xingguo and Zhao Fei are very affectionate, and Lin Feng has a very general impression of Zhao Fei. Zhao Fei said, then what should we do now? Lin Feng said, it's past 2 in the morning, what I have to do now is, you and Dainan go to rest, and I have to rest too. Dainan and Zhao Fei walked out, and Lin Feng lay on the bed. He might not be able to fall asleep, but he still wanted to let himself sleep for a while. Dainan and Zhao Fei both lay on the bed. Dainan was wearing a thin night dress, Zhao Fei was wearing only a pair of shorts, and her full were exposed. Dainan had touched Zhao Fei's chest many times before, but she didn't have that feeling at all at this time. At this time, she had become a woman with a very normal orientation. But Zhao Fei said something that made Dainan very scared. Zhao Fei actually said, do you remember the past of the two of us? Dainan said coldly, it's all in the past, and the me now is not the me in the past, so I forgot about those things. If you have any thoughts that you shouldn't have, be careful I kick you with one foot. Get out of bed. Zhao Fei said aggrieved, look at you. What are you doing so excited? I'm just talking about it casually, my heart is very painful, and I can't find a topic to talk about. Dainan said that there are many things to talk about. I don't have to talk about those things. I don't want to do or even listen to those things in the past. Zhao Fei expected that she would not be able to sleep either, so she forced a slight smile, then let's talk about you and Lin Feng. I really think the two of you are very suitable, if the two of you can get married. I will give at least 10,000 gifts. Block. And I won't do the salute with Li Xingguo, he will do his, I will do mine. Dainan said, even if you want to give a gift of 1 million, Lin Feng and I can't get married, and I can't even be his girlfriend. Zhao Fei said. Why? Dainan said that because they both know each other's past too well. Zhao Fei sighed, there are still some things to say. I hope you don't get angry. If the two of us hadn't played that kind of absurd game before, maybe you and Lin Feng would be able to get together. Do you think there is time in this world? Machines. According to Einstein's general theory of relativity, time machines are possible. Dainan said, you are more level than before. Even Einstein and general theory of relativity know it, but many people have fantasized about such things as time machines, but no one has ever seen it, and no one has ever tried it. Zhao Fei said that if there is a time machine and the ticket price is fair, then the two of us will each buy a ticket, go back to a certain point in time in the past, and do it again. In this way, there will be no regrets, and there will be too much happiness. Dainan said, stop dreaming. Zhao Fei said, please, don't disturb my fantasy. My heart is beautiful. Oh, if there is a time machine, I want to go back to the 6th grade, how about you? Dinan sneered and said, if there is a time machine, I would rather go back to the belly of that hateful woman and let her never give birth to me, even if she is pregnant with me, even if I have formed in her belly. I also kicked her stomach with my tender feet until she miscarried. Zhao Fei was silent for a while. The wonderful fantasy of the time machine was also shattered by Dinan's sharp words. Dinan's words just now were like an atomic bomb exploding in Zhao Fei's heart. The already barren heart suddenly swept up a large cloud of dust and smoke. Wherever she went, it was destroyed, and Zhao Fei discovered that her heart was broken. Zhao Fei vibrato said, Dinan, I'm sorry, I made you uncomfortable. Dinan said, it's nothing, I just hate them. For the sake of orgasm, I made me. I was shot by that hateful man, and I was conceived by that hateful woman. I'm the one who went, can I come back? Zhao Fei's body jumped up instantly and shouted loudly, enough, you can't go back to the furnace. Dinan raised her slender legs and kicked Zhao Fei's calf. Zhao Fei lost her balance instantly and fell on the bed. Dinan said angrily, what are you excited about? You still jumped up, you still shouted. The room is not soundproof, so don't scare people in other rooms. Someone in the corridor is already crying sleepily, who wants to go back to the furnace. The voice was not high, but Dinan and Zhao Fei heard it. They were very angry at first, and then they both laughed softly. The voice just now was made by a man who was half asleep to go to the bathroom. He didn't respond, so he went back to his room, urinated, but he was even more upright, and he rushed into the room again with a jerk. The body of the woman found outside, the woman's body rippling, thinking, earning your 300 yuan is really hard, I thought I could sleep peacefully until the morning, but you are here. Zhao Fei said, that man was really evil just now. What did he do? I think he can't find a job. Even if he does, he will be fired by the boss, and he will have to burn the boiler. Dinan said, you are cursing others, it is very bad, we cannot hope that others are not happy because we are not happy. If I were a person with high ability, I would definitely do a lot of good things, but unfortunately, my ability is very mediocre, and I don't know where my future is. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 283. Linfeng fell asleep early in the morning. When Dandanan and Zhao Fei were eating breakfast, he was still asleep. At that time, Zhao Fei wanted to ask Linfeng to eat together, but Dinan said that the kid was probably still sleeping, so don't disturb him. And bring him one when we finish eating. Zhao Fei said, you are not his girlfriend, but you are better than his girlfriend. You are not his wife, but you are better than his wife. If he hadn't you, I wouldn't believe him. Dinan said, believe it or not, he just never messed with me, he wanted to mess with me for a long time, but I wouldn't let him do it, just let him touch it, even if his fingers stick into my body, it doesn't matter, but that thing can't go in. Zhao Fei always suspected that Linfeng and Dinan had been enthusiastic many times, but after hearing what Dinan said just now, she really believed it. Linfeng and Dinan had never done it before. Zhao Fei said, let him do it well, you are comfortable, so is he, you both like each other anyway. Dinan said, I don't know why, but I want to kick you again. You won't feel well if you don't take a meal, right? Zhao Fei said, forget it, just pretend I didn't say anything just now, and I feel so wronged. If your feet fall on me, then I might as well die. Hearing the knock on the door, Linfeng woke up instantly. He dreamed of Bai Shan just now, and just wanted to grab Bai Shan's hand, but he woke up. There was only one pair of trousers all over his body. Linfeng moved quickly, wearing shorts and a half-sleeved shirt, and then pulled up his slippers to open the door. Standing outside the door were Dinan and Xiaofei. Dinan was carrying a small cage in his hand. Buns and wontons. Come in. After Lin Feng waited for Dinan and Xiaofei to enter the door, he went to the bathroom with the things he washed. Sitting on the sofa, Xiaofei said, "The average person is lazy when he wakes up, but Lin Feng is so graceful even when he wakes up. This man is really good. You have to catch him and let him be your child's father." Dinan said, "My child's father? How did you know I would have children in my life?" Xiaofei said, "You are very normal. It is no problem for you to give birth to several, but it is a matter of minutes to give birth to one." Snapped. Dinan slapped Xiaofei's face. "I couldn't bear to exert any force, but it still made a crisp sound." Xiaofei was not in pain but was very aggrieved, so she cried, "I hate it, what are you beating me for? Who told you to talk nonsense just now? Am I talking nonsense? Why do you have no tolerance for me now? Are you still a friend? If it is a friend, why can't I even make a joke? If it is not a friend, you and Lin Feng don't have to help me." "Let me die," Xiaofei said. "Okay, it's my fault, you must be my friend, I'm in a bad mood, please understand." "Okay, I just slapped you in the face. You hit me before, so I don't blame you." Whether it was before or now, Xiaofei has a soft side. Whenever she exposes her soft side, it will make people feel distressed. Dinan felt that she was really cheap. "Why did she slap Xiaofei just now?" she said. "Didn't I hurt you just now?" Xiaofei said, "It doesn't hurt, it's just a pain in my heart. After listening to what you just said, I feel a lot more comfortable. If Lin Feng exerts a huge energy and makes Li Yang compromise, then my heart will be more comfortable." Lin Feng came in, he said, "I went straight to Jinwu Center after I had breakfast. Then the two of you go to the store, there is nothing important, and you are not allowed to call me casually." Dinan said, "I know, I wish you all the best." Xiaofei said, "You must play your level to the extreme." Lin Feng didn't say anything and started to eat. The speed was very fast. After finishing the dumplings and wontons, he set off. Taking the taxi again, Lin Feng thought that if he could have a car, he would drive it wherever he went. If he bought a car, what grade and brand would he buy? The grade should not be too low, the brand should not be too inferior, the body must be heavy enough, and it must be strong enough. It is absolutely impossible to get up after hitting the front cover a little. Lin Feng is not worried that the engine will fly out, but he is worried that he will fly out. Jinwu Center has arrived. As soon as he entered the door, Lin Feng saw Chang Yaxing, a beautiful woman standing at the front desk. Like Tian Qingzhu, the school flower of Beijing Normal University, Chang Yaxing was also a village girl and came from a remote mountainous area, but she was smaller than someone from Shu province. Tian Qingzhu from the mountain village came, and Chang Yaxing's hometown was much closer to Beijing, in a small village in Baoding County. Tian Qingzhu is pure and clean. Chang Yaxing is also pure and clean. Chang Yaxing, whose parents died in a car accident, even had the idea of selling her junior high school in order to provide for her younger brother who was excellent in studies. Fortunately, she met Lin Feng, her junior daughter film was saved, and she also got 3,000 yuan. Later, with the help of Lin Feng, when I arrived at the front desk of Jinwu Center Station, the salary was good, and I gradually integrated into this metropolis. Lin Feng believed very much that Chang Yaxing's hymen was still standing at the front desk of Jinwu Center. The moment she saw Lin Feng, Chang Yaxing's beautiful eyes lit up. Standing at the front desk, she jumped up and shouted, "Brother, you are here, brother, come here." Lin Feng wanted to see Li Yang as soon as possible. He had already thought about what to say. He really wanted to see the effect as soon as possible. He wanted to say hello to Chang Yaxing with a smile, but Chang Yaxing excitedly called him over. He could only walk over. Admiring Chang Yaxing's beautiful face, Lin Feng's eyes will inevitably stay on her towering chest for a moment. Jinwu Center does not have strict requirements on employees. You can wear hair clothes or your own clothes during working hours. At this time, Chang Yaxing was wearing a long pink dress. The powder was heavier and the red was lighter. The pattern was very beautiful, elegant, and mature. As long as she didn't open her mouth to bring out the local accent, no one would believe it. She came from a small backward mountain village, and very few people believed that such a beautiful beauty would be born in a backward small mountain village. In the past, when Lin Feng was in high school, he was strolling on the commercial street of a small county town, and heard an old man selling walnuts say that there are many beautiful women in the valleys, and they can be married if they are cleaned. The old man who sold walnuts was not talking to Lin Feng, but to a young man in fat jeans who was squatting beside him, but Lin Feng could hear it clearly. At that moment, Lin Feng's heart was so frivolous. Said, "There are many of your sisters in the valleys, you are so ugly, your sister can't look good either." At that time, Lin Feng didn't believe that there were any beauties in the valleys. Instead, the water and soil of the prosperous metropolis could breed noble and beautiful women, but since he went to college, Lin Feng's thoughts changed. There are many beautiful beauties from the mountains. When he came to Beijing, he first met Chang Yaxing and then Tian Qingzhu. He believed even more that there were many beauties in the valley. Both Chang Yaxing and Tian Qingzhu came out of the valley, but they were all superb. At a certain level, even if Miss Ye from Hungtu Company saw it, she would have to boast in her heart that it was really beautiful. Miss Ye is a beautiful woman born in the bustling metropolis of the authentic Beijing. Her grandfathers are from Beijing. When it comes to Ye's generation, she was born in Beijing and grew up in Beijing. She has seen too much prosperity, I have enjoyed too much luxury, the face is beautiful, the body is graceful, and the temperament is noble, but in terms of posture, Chang Yaxing and Tian Qingzhu are not lost to Miss Ye, the three of them can be tied. Brother, what are you thinking? Did I delay your business? Chang Yaxing felt a little guilty. No delay, it's not a big deal anyway, she has already stood by Chang Yaxing's side, and she has already smelled the smell of her skin and perfume. Why don't you talk to her for a while? Chang Yaxing said, Brother, I haven't seen you for a long time. I've been wanting to call you some time ago, but I don't know what to say, and I'm afraid it will affect your code. Lin Feng said, it's good to make a phone call when you're fine. If you want to call me in the future, just call me. Even if I'm typing, I can answer your call. I'm not flying a plane, even if I suddenly stop. Nothing major happened. Chang Yaxing giggled, her laughter was sweet, her delicate face was like a peach blossom in full bloom, and her towering chest was rippling in front of Lin Feng. There is a long skirt wrapped in a long skirt and a chest photo, but Lin Feng can fully imagine how wonderful Chang Yaxing's pair of towering are, snow white, soft, and the buds are purple, it will be delicious to taste, but he has not tasted Chang Yaxing's chest until now. Honey, you are superb. Dear, you let my heart rip for you, I didn't come here for rippling, but I got rippling. Lin Feng found that compared to Tian Qingzhu, when facing Chang Yaxing, he was more likely to have intoxicated fantasies. It may be because Chang Yaxing and Tian Qingzhu have different past experiences, or it may be because Chang Yaxing and Tian Qingzhu are fundamentally different. They are not one type of person, they are both pure and beautiful, but they are indeed two types of people. Chang Yaxing said, Brother, you are so humorous. The word humor has a strong local accent, but it made Lin Feng's body taller and straighter. He even wanted to gently hug Chang Yaxing's waist. Lin Feng also believed that even if he touched his hand, the possibility of Chang Yaxing shouting in anger was extremely small. If another man wanted to eat her tofu, she would definitely be angry, but what about herself? I guess it's still fun. Lin Feng quickly thought again that he sent Chang Yaxing here in order not to let Chang Yaxing be bullied, in order to make Chang Yaxing's life a little easier, so that he could live a good life and help him smoothly. Because of his younger brother's studies, he can't easily eat Chang Yaxing's tofu. Lin Feng said, "You have been working in Jinwu Center for a while, are you still used to it?" Chang Yaxing said, "I have long been used to it. The owner of the museum and Li Xiao are very good to me. Most of the surrounding areas are still very good. I like it here." Lin Feng said, "You are more fashionable than before. You bought the long dress on your body and the perfume you sprayed yourself, right? To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 284. Chang Yaxing said, "I bought them all by myself, and I also want to have a favorite man to give me these things, but unfortunately I haven't found them yet." When he said this, Chang Yaxing looked at Lin Feng with a very special look, both warm and emotional, which made Lin Feng's heart a little flustered, and he said to himself, "Yaxing, you don't like me." Lin Feng said, "I am very happy for you to see your change. Although you came from a small backward mountain village, you have gradually integrated into Beijing." Chang Yaxing said, "Since I came here, I will not go back. I am afraid of poverty. I will work hard to establish a foothold in Beijing and live a good life in the future. So is my brother. He will also go to a big city in the future. I hope he can come to Beijing to study at university, but there are several universities in Shanghai and Nanjing that he likes. Now is not the time to make a decision, and he has not thought about it. Okay, but he's sure to rush out." Lin Feng said, "That's great." At the same time, he also thought to himself, it would be great if the beautiful bamboo could also have the same mood as Chang Yaxing. Chang Yaxing always thought about rushing out and enjoying the bustling city in a big city, but Tian Qingzu had been thinking about whether to run back. If Tian Qingzu wants to stay in Beijing after graduation, she is much better off than Chang Yaxing. Even if she only graduates from an undergraduate degree, it is not too difficult for Tian Qingzu to stay in school and work. It takes a long time to solve the household registration problem. This is comparable to returning to teach in Qiushan Town, Shu Province. With a meager salary, facing the mountains every day is much stronger. But Tian Qingzu is a girl with faith. She has not forgotten how her parents gave her, nor what her mother said to her before her death, nor did she forget the poor children in the town of Qiushan. Do you want Chang Yaxing to chat with the beautiful bamboo? After thinking about it, let's forget it first. This kind of thing must be brewed first. The sudden idea is suddenly implemented, and it is easy to cause trouble. The effect he wants to achieve is to change a person's thinking, not to engage in performance art, so he cannot act at the moment of inspiration. Lin Feng said, "Isn't your brother coming? When will you arrive?" Chang Yaxing said that the summer vacation is over, it will be more than a month. I called him often to mention you, he admires you, and has said it several times. When I come to Beijing, I must see you and invite you to drink. In fact, her younger brother Chang Yakang asked her several times if that capable man named Lin Feng was your boyfriend. She denied it several times, but Chang Yakang still believed that Lin Feng was very likely to be her sister's boyfriend. Maybe it was the man who was about to become his brother-in-law, and he would be very excited to think that his brother-in-law might be a kung fu master. Lin Feng said, "Your brother is bold enough." Chang Yaxing said that he is very unrestrained. "If anyone bullies me, my brother will fight those people. Although he is very thin, he is very explosive and very powerful in heads up. If multiple people beat him, he will not admit defeat." Lin Feng said, Do you know what I want to say to him when he sees me? Chang Yaxing said, study hard. Up every day? Lin Feng said, I don't say that, I want to tell him, you kid, remember it for me, and I will fight more than one person in the future. Hit if you can, run if you can't. Chang Yaxing laughed happily again, ha ha ha, even the people standing more than 10 meters away could hear it clearly, and those few people looked at her curiously. Who is Yasin talking to, so happy? Wouldn't it be to find a boyfriend? Or, is that guy chasing Yasin? You are clumsy, isn't that Lin Feng? It is Li Xiao's iron buddy, and his kung fu is very sturdy. Lin Feng is the one who wrote the online novel. It is him. I have read online novels written by him before, and I have also subscribed to paid chapters. They are really good. Lin Feng saw Chang Yaxing's towering chest rippling again. Maybe Chang Yaxing's towering chest didn't belong to him, but it had been rippling at him several times. While walking on the road, Lin Feng admired the of countless passing women. Some of those women's were really full, some were fake, some were real airports, and some were fake airports. Chang Yaxing is very different from those women on the road, because she also has a special place in Lin Feng's heart. It's not because I almost made it but I didn't make it. At that time, if Lin Feng wanted to do it, he could do it in an instant, but because they talked about some issues with each other, not about eating rice or steamed buns for lunch, but about life, a charming, sturdy, and very lively to chat. Chang Yaxing said, I really believe that you have the ability to be my brother's teacher. Whether it is cultural knowledge or kung fu, he should learn from you. Your kung fu is so high, have you ever considered accepting an apprentice? Lin Feng was stunned for a moment, and smiled relieved after a moment, I never thought about accepting an apprentice. I'm busy every day, and I have time to teach people kung fu. If anyone wants to practice simple self-defense techniques, I have time to give pointers. Second, teach some quick, a little proficient can take out to beat people. Chang Yaxing wanted to laugh again, but she seemed to realize that she had laughed a few times in front of Lin Feng just now, and she couldn't continue laughing, otherwise she would be regarded as a fool by Lin Feng. At this moment, she just smiled and then covered her mouth with her jade hand. Call a moving one. Chang Yaxing said, but you always have to accept apprentices, why don't you let my brother be your apprentice? Although he has passed the best age to practice kung fu, his physical foundation is very good. He is often practiced by going up and down the mountain and working in the field. Moreover, he is very smart and his comprehension is not bad. He can easily become a master. Lin Feng said, besides this, in fact, I will definitely have apprentices in the future, such as my son or daughter. He also said in his heart, Yasin, you are so considerate of your brother, you love your brother more than yourself, and if your death can bring your brother's happiness, you will leave without hesitation. This world, but how can you die? You will live more and more brilliantly, let me see your brilliance, and let others see your brilliance, let the sun shine on your body, let you be brilliant. Chang Yaxing said, is your kung fu known to the inside or not? Lin Feng said, who knows? There is no such thing in the ancestors' teaching. My grandfather passed it on to my father, and my father passed it on to me, but I haven't decided who I want to pass it on. Chang Yaxing said, okay, brother, then think about it and see if you can accept my brother as an apprentice. Oh, you definitely didn't come here to chat with me, you can do your business, maybe I'll be fine in the future. I will call you when the time comes, don't bother me when that happens. Lin Feng said, contact at any time, then I'll go first. Chatting with Chang Yaxing just now was very pleasant. At this time, what he was thinking about was not whether to accept Chang Yaxing as an apprentice, but the future of Tian Qingzu and Chang Yaxing. Tian Qingzu was so confused. Chang Yaxing is so clear. Already outside the door of Li Yang's room, he was still thinking of two superb beauties. He could only shout his sins in his heart, and quickly set his mind right. Lin Feng knocked on the door, and his heart beat faster than before. He had seen Li Yang several times, but he had never been so nervous. Li Yang was sitting on the sofa holding a purple clay pot while drinking tea and smoking. Hearing a knock on the door, he walked over and opened the door after a little stunned. Lin Feng's eyes fell on Li Yang's face instantly. At a glance, he knew that Li Yang was in a low mood, and the folds between his eyebrows were very clear. No matter who encountered this kind of thing, he would not be in a good mood. Even if Li Yang was a belly, he can't take it calmly even if he can punt the boat, and mood swings are inevitable. Li Yang said, "I knew you would come. It seems that Zhao Fei's stinky girl has already looked for you." Lin Feng said, "Uncle Li, can I come in and have a chat with you? If you don't want to hear anything from me, I'll leave immediately." Li Yang said, "Come in." Lin Fengzin said, "I knew that you would not let me show off immediately, because you were afraid that I would never come again in the future. In fact, even if you let me show off immediately, I would come again in the future." They sat on the sofa together, and there was soft china on the coffee table. Li Yang did not hand the cigarette to Lin Feng, but said lightly, "Smoke." The things to be talked about are too special, and Lin Feng doesn't want to appear too raw. The more like himself, the easier it is to talk. Lin Feng casually took out a soft Chinese stick from the cigarette case, lit it, took a sip, and said with a smile, "Uncle Li, has anyone challenged you recently?" Li Yang said, "Don't talk about these useless things, you know, I rarely accept challenges from others, unless it is those who can't escape. The key to practicing Kung Fu is self-cultivation, not fighting for superiority or killing, isn't it?" Lin Feng said, "Uncle Li, you said it very well. In fact, I realized a truth recently. I think Kung Fu." Li Yang frowned slightly and interrupted Lin Feng, "If you want to talk to me about the essence and spirit of Kung Fu, it's better to come back in a month. If you want to talk about something else, just get straight to the point." Lin Feng didn't want to make a roundabout way, but just wanted to warm up first. If he could see Li Yang as soon as he got here, maybe he would be sharper, so he wouldn't need to warm up, but he was intercepted by the beautiful Chang Yaxing as soon as he arrived. Standing at the front desk for a long chat, now his heart is very wet, and it must be dried before it can shine. Lin Feng was a little embarrassed. He said, "Uncle Li, with what I know about you, you did such a thing, which surprised me." Li Yang said, "Lin Feng, I am an elder, you are a junior. You should not speak to me in such a tone. If I didn't admire you as a young man with high Kung Fu, I would let you go immediately." Lin Feng said, "Since Uncle Li mentioned the word admiration, then I will say it. What I am about to tell you is what I said to my dad during the Chinese New Year. My dad is not only my father but also my master. I said to him, 'Dad, do you know who the person I admire the most?' My dad smiled and said, 'The person you admire the most must be you and me. I made you come to this world, I made you, I have become a master.' Guess what I said? To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 285. Li Yang gradually entered the state following Lin Feng's thoughts, and he wondered, "What did you say?" Lin Feng said, "I said, I don't admire you the most, I admire Uncle Li Yang, the owner of the Beijing Jinwu Center." Li Yang's heart suddenly became smoother, and a smile could even be seen from the corner of his mouth. "Your dad didn't discipline you. Why didn't he teach him? He was so angry that he was about to beat me with his fist. He said, that Li Yang is the father of your friend Li Xingguo, right?" I said, "It was him." My dad said, "Why do you admire him? He admires your father better than me." I said, because Uncle Li is a very tolerant and kind person. His kung fu is very high, but the purpose of his kung fu practice is to truly cultivate one's self-cultivation. Many martial artists pursue this, but they can really do it? It won't be more than 1%, Uncle Li did it but you didn't, so what I admire most is Uncle Li, Lin Feng said. Li Yang is not a fool. He also suspects that Lin Feng is making things up. Maybe the situation Lin Feng described just now has never happened. Your words. Li Yang asked, what did your father say? Lin Feng said, my dad was thoughtful at the time, and later said that if he has the opportunity to go to Beijing in the future, he will definitely meet Li Guanzu. The person who can make my son admire like this must not be an ordinary person. Li Yang said, when will your father come? I am waiting for him with good wine and good food. The dragon and snake legs are one of the most authentic Chinese arts. As early as the Song dynasty, there were heroes in the rivers and lakes who relied on the dragon and snake legs. In the Qing dynasty, there were heroes who made foreigners suffer by relying on dragon and snake legs. In Huo Yuanjia's time, there were also dragon and snake leg masters who could tie with Mi Zone Quan. Lin Feng hurriedly said, actually, Huajiaquan was originally a branch of Bajiquan. It is a very strong boxing technique. It was later transformed by Huo Yuanjia into Mizongkan. The principle of yin and yang gossip is a natural way, the combat power has not been weakened, but it has become stronger, and it is unparalleled in the world to overcome strength with softness. Li Yang slapped his thigh with a slap, and his voice became much thicker, I've been depressed these days. After chatting with you for a while, my spirit is coming. You wait a while, I'll get the wine. Lin Feng was excited, said in his heart, drinking and chatting. Even more energetic, although you don't want to talk about kung fu with me today, but when I sit down with your elder, don't talk about kung fu, do you talk about women? Li Yang opened a bottle of longju puree, brought spiced beef and peanuts over, and sat beside Lin Feng. He smiled and said, the dishes are a little simpler, just 2 dishes, but they are both good dishes for wine. The ancestors of Huaxia Sanda, Wusong, and Huameng Luzishan, like to eat these 2 dishes when they drink in big bowls, and wine is also good wine. This longju puree was obtained directly from the winery by a friend. Even very rich people rarely have this kind of good luck. Today, your kid made Uncle Li happy. I brought this good wine to share with you. Lin Feng said, Uncle Li, you really flattered me and moved me very much. You really are a martial artist with a broad mind and an elegant temperament. Li Yang said, I really want to see your father. My kung fu is compared to your father's. It's not worth mentioning. Even in the age of fighting, 5 of me may not be able to deal with your father alone. That is called a domineering, the mad dragon sweeping, the snowflakes flying, the golden snake dancing and the catkins blowing. It is a sacred mood when you think of it. If you can see it with your own eyes, it will be a life in vain. Lin Feng said, the mad dragon swept, the snowflakes and the golden snakes danced and the catkins blew. This is the highest level reached by our ancestors. The dragon and snake legs have 3 branches of heaven, earth, and people. My family's dragon and snake legs belong to the Tianzi branch. Domineering and powerful, but my grandfather's generation didn't achieve this level. My father was a little inferior, and when it comes to my generation, it's even more disgusting. Li Yang and Lin Feng clinked glasses, drank the wine in one gulp, and smiled helplessly. You have a good boy, you are living in Beijing, and you code words for a living. I'm afraid most of your kung fu has been wasted. Lin Feng said, if it wasn't for a ruthless and beautiful boss, Black Rose, who beat me all the time, I really wouldn't care about my kung fu. What's the use of high kung fu? If you hurt someone, you might go to jail. Even if I run away, there's no point. The bullets are fast. But fortunately, my skills are no worse than when I was in high school. Li Yang said, your kung fu is still very good, at least my father Xingguo and I have no chance to defeat you. If you have time in the future, come to Uncle Lee more, exercise more, practice more Kung Fu, your physique is good, and your Kung Fu is great. There are many benefits. And that Black Rose is indeed a difficult woman to deal with. She has a lot of connections in Beijing. She has a lot of people and can do anything ruthless. You have to be careful. Lin Feng didn't expect Li Yang and Li Xingguo and his son to help him deal with Black Rose, because the two of them are not rivals at all. Lin Feng said with a smile, I will come here often in the future. If anyone finds trouble in Jinwu Center in the future, not only Xingguo can go, so can I have never regarded myself as an outsider. Li Yang grabbed Lin Feng's hand tightly, good boy. Lin Feng said, Uncle Li, you should now understand how much I admire you. But what you are doing now surprises me. Li Yang sighed, what a good mood just now, but you still come back, Uncle Li, I value you, so I'll just have a good chat with you about Xingguo and Zhaofei. The two of them are simply not a good match, i.e. Xingguo, although a little incompetent, he lost his reputation as a romantic young master a few years ago. He can be regarded as rich and powerful in Beijing. If he trains well in the future, he must be a talent. But Zhaofei is nothing. I sent someone to find out what she had done in the past. She worked as a wine girl in the Menfei Yang disco, which is called a despicable person. She also played love with that Dainan. This is called shameless. What does she have? Are you qualified to be my daughter-in-law? Lin Feng said, Zhaofei's past was very unbearable. She was not a rich lady, her parents were ordinary people, they usually treated her less than discipline, and did a lot of stupid things. Even now she is very unbearable, no good job, no taste in life, but she has a very real heart. If she and Xingguo get together, as long as Xingguo doesn't kick her, she can live a good life with Xingguo. Uncle Li, I think you will find it too. Yes, Spark has changed a lot. Li Yang said, he has changed a lot, but it is because of your friend, not because of that stinky girl Zhaofei. Lin Feng said, then you are wrong, it's not because of me, but because of Zhaofei. Xingguo told me before that his life was very chaotic, and sometimes he didn't even know who he was in a trance. Now, since he got together with Zhaofei, he has become sober a lot. He thinks that people shouldn't be so alive, he has to improve himself. He wants to let everyone in and outside the Beijing city circle know that Li Yang's son Li Xingguo is okay. Li Yang said, that kid really said that. Lin Feng said, I used to drink together, he said it when he was drunk, maybe he forgot now, but after drinking, I told him the truth, I wrote it down for him. Uncle Li, think about it, even if Xingguo's girlfriend is a rich man, can the eldest lady or the lady beauties achieve this effect? Lin Feng said this because he was afraid that Li Yang would ask Li Xingguo, and he had said rhetoric to Lin Feng before. Li Yang believes that Li Xingguo is very likely to say such words to Lin Feng when he is drunk, and he also subconsciously hopes that Li Xingguo can have this courage. Li Yang looked at Lin Feng's face and said solemnly, if I insist on separating Xingguo and Zhaofei, what will happen? Lin Feng said, Xingguo will hate you, Zhaofei will commit suicide. Zhaofei wanted to cut her wrists in Dainan's room at night, thanks to Dainan knowing that Zhaofei was emotionally unstable. Focusing on what Zhaofei is going to do, I took the knife from Zhaofei's hand at a critical moment. Li Yang was kind-hearted. Hearing that Zhaofei even wanted to commit suicide by cutting his wrists from Lin Feng, his heart fluctuated quite a bit, and he said angrily, this stinky girl is really, she still wants to cut her wrists to commit suicide. Can't live without Xingguo? Is it? There are too many men and women who are in love in this world, and there are a few who are looking for short-term views. Lin Feng said, Zhaofei is different from other girls. It's not easy for her to find true love. If you really let Xingguo and Zhaofei separate, Zhaofei really won't be able to live. Last night she wanted to cut her wrists to commit suicide. She was discovered and intercepted by Dainan, but no one can watch her all the time, she will have the opportunity to seek short-term views in the future, and if she dies, it will affect Xingguo's life. Li Yang is very anxious. If Zhao Fei is really looking for a shortcoming and sees death, it will affect not only Li Xingguo's life, but also his life as an old man. Even after more than 10 years, he will often think of that person named Zhao. How Fei's girl died, it will make him miserable. Lin Feng added, Uncle Li, think about it, if Xingguo's girlfriend is the daughter of a high-ranking official or the daughter of a rich man, it would definitely be a good idea to take it with you or chat with others, but Xingguo may be even more unbearable than before, so you have a good daughter-in-law but not a good son. If Xingguo's girlfriend is Zhao Fei, this daughter-in-law is very ordinary, but your son Xingguo is self-improving, so you have a good son. Excuse me, Uncle Li, do you want a good son or a good daughter-in-law? Hearing a crackle, Li Yang slapped Lin Feng's head with a slap and said with a smile, you really have a trick, don't think that Uncle Li let you go around, you and I have talked so much, you just want me to stop. Interfering with Xingguo and Zhao Fei's certification, my mind is still very clear, but I will seriously consider it, I may not be able to make a decision for a while. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 286. Lin Feng said, what about Xingguo? Li Yang said, before I made a final decision, I still had to tie him up and lock him up. For so many years, that kid never took my words seriously, and I didn't fix him much before. Now that the repairs have started this time, we must take care of him. Li Yang wanted to take the opportunity to repair Li Xingguo, but Lin Feng naturally had no objection. He smiled and said, then can I see Xingguo? Li Yang said, since you're here, it's okay to see him, come with me. Li Xingguo was locked in a spare room in the Jinwu Center. The door opened. When he saw Lin Feng coming, Li Xingguo was immediately excited. He was injured and very painful, but a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. You two have a chat, I'll go first. Just as Li Yang was about to turn around, Li Xingguo called out, Dad. Li Yang turned his head and said, what are you calling me for, you bastard? If you don't give you some power, you won't know that I am your father. With another cold snort, Li Yang did not stay to chat with Li Xingguo in the end, so he let Lin Feng and Li Xingguo chat. Li Xingguo said, you kid, let me loose. Lin Feng said, if I let you loose, won't your father get angry? Just bear with it. I have talked with Uncle Li a lot, although I haven't been able to completely wrap him around, but it still has some results, maybe he will allow you and Zhao Fei to get the certificate. Li Xingguo saw a little hope, but his heart was still very depressed. He said, what if my dad still doesn't agree? Lin Feng said, I've tried my best. If Uncle Li still doesn't agree, you have to seriously consider whether to break up with Zhao Fei. Li Xingguo said, you know, this is not what I want to hear. Lin Feng said, but apart from this, I don't know what to say to you. Do human affairs, obey the destiny, the personnel affairs have been done. It depends on the destiny. Li Xingguo was in great pain, and tears flowed down again. This young man has cried for Zhao Fei many times. Lin Feng said, let me take a look at your injury. Look. My dad was really angry this time, and he gave me a hard meal with a whip, and it hurt me, Li Xingguo said. Lin Feng looked at his injury and said helplessly, it's serious enough, then for the next period of time. You have to continue to suffer, and also, you have to prepare both hands, even if you can't get together with Zhao Fei in the end, you can't do stupid things either. Li Xingguo didn't say anything, but he also knew. Until now, Lin Feng's impression of Zhao Fei is still very general. Li Xingguo said, let's stop talking about me now, and if we continue talking, my head will explode. Tell me about you. You and Yun Na have broken up. Do you have a new goal? Not yet. But what? Dainan and Yun Na both think that King Zhou and I are very suitable, but I always feel that I am not suitable for King Zhou, Lin Feng said. King Zhou is a one-of-a-kind beauty. If you sleep with her in your arms, won't you be happy? It's not about being beautiful or not, it's about whether it's suitable or not. King Zhou is not the kind of person who needs mutual satisfaction. If it's not suitable, I can't easily hug her to sleep. Lin Fengxin said that although Beauty Bamboo is very smart, she is a girl who doesn't know much about the world after all, plus she has a good impression of me. If I want to trick her into doing that, it's not impossible. But I will never do anything to seduce the beautiful Bamboo, otherwise, even if I feel the pleasure, I will be very painful. Li Xingguo said, it's been so long, have you ever thought about Miss Ye yet? Is that the golden branch of Ye Qingchen's family? Lin Feng said, I dreamed of it when I was dreaming, but is it useful? Miss Ye and I can only forget each other in the arena. Li Xingguo said, although Ye Zi is always arrogant in front of you, I can see that she is a little interested in you. If you can develop Ye Zi into your girlfriend, even if you are a good kid. Lin Feng said, but I don't think I've already reached home. I don't want to do this kind of useless work. I'm not timid, I just think it's better for people to be a little more realistic. Li Xingguo said, maybe you are right. Lin Feng and Li Xingguo chatted for more than half an hour. They talked about women and the future. Li Xingguo once again mentioned that Lin Feng should rely on Kung Fu to eat, but Lin Feng said, I have a code word. Lin Feng was about to leave. When he passed the front desk, Chang Yaxing called him over again, which immediately attracted the attention of several people around. Lin Feng knew that a few people were looking at him, but it was nothing. Just look at it if you wanted to. He smiled and said, Yaxing, what's the matter? Chang Yaxing's eyes are very warm, and her face is like a peach blossom when she smiles. She said softly, remember, think about it seriously, see if you can accept my brother as an apprentice. I am his sister, I know him very well, I believe him you will become a master, and you will not be ashamed of your master. It will be considered. Lin Feng smiled at Chang Yaxing and left. He wanted to just look at her face, but the moment he left, he subconsciously glanced at her chest. It was too high and too prominent. I hope she didn't notice it. This detail. But Chang Yaxing noticed that Lin Feng stared at her face at the moment she left, and then glanced at her chest hurriedly. Chang Yaxing's heart is very warm, even if Lin Feng stared at her for a long time, she would not have any opinion except blushing. After a quick glance, she had no opinion, she said again in her heart, Lin Feng, I love you. A few people who were watching from the side just now gathered around the front desk and began to ask questions. Some people asked, is Lin Feng your boyfriend? Some people also asked, Yaxing, how far have you and Lin Feng developed? Chang Yaxing just said that Lin Feng is her good friend and someone she admires, but not her boyfriend. Everyone who heard it understands that even if Lin Feng is not her boyfriend now, the beautiful Chang Yaxing has that meaning for Lin Feng. Lin Feng arrived at the Fengnan fashion store. Dainan and Zhao Fei were both there. Dainan was introducing something to the customer, and Zhao Fei was sitting beside the cashier with a sad face. The moment Lin Feng walked in, Zhao Fei didn't realize that Lin Feng came in. After a while, she screamed excitedly, you're back. Have you talked to Li Yang? Lin Feng said, maybe he makes you very depressed, but you can call him Uncle Li, and you won't die. Don't sip Li Yang. Zhao Fei was very embarrassed, and said in her heart, I'm dying of depression, you still grasp these small details, she said, have you talked to Uncle Li? Lin Feng said, we talked. Zhao Fei said, what is the effect? Lin Feng said that the effect is very good. Zhao Fei lowered her voice, then Uncle Li doesn't object to me and Xingguo getting the certificate. Lin Feng said, it can only be said that it is possible. If it was a normal day, Dainan would have liked to extend the business hours, wished that the shop was still open at 2 o'clock in the morning, and there were still people coming to buy goods. If there was no major incident, it would never be closed during the day. But this time is special. When the customer just went out, Dainan pulled down the roller shutter and asked Lin Feng, how are you and Uncle Li talking? In fact, Dainan also wanted to be called Li Yang, but she heard what Lin Feng said to Zhao Fei just now, so she also called Uncle Li. Lin Feng took out the recorder and said with a smile, you two, listen to this. I tried my best anyway, and the results were not bad. It's up to Uncle Li to decide. Dainan laughed relievedly, and Fan Fist raised his fist to face Lin Feng's arm, you are really good, go to Uncle Li and bring a voice recorder. Lin Feng said, I can't predict the result. I brought this just to restore the truth in front of the two of you. Dainan and Zhao Fei began to listen. They didn't hear the content of Lin Feng and Chang Yaxing's chat, because Lin Feng had not started recording at that time, but they listened to all the chat content of Lin Feng, Li Yang, and Li Xingguo. Lin Feng, your eloquence is really good, you are so amazing, I admire you. Dainan was so excited that if Zhao Fei hadn't looked at her, she would have wanted to kiss Lin Feng's face. So I tried my best. Maybe Li Xingguo will finally agree to let Li Xingguo and Zhao Fei get the certificate, Dainan said. Zhao Fei was still very melancholy. She said, Lin Feng, what I don't understand is why you said that to Xingguo. Don't you mean, if it really can't be done, then forget it? Lin Feng said, I knew you would question me about this, then I will ask you, if it really can't be done, what can it do? Are you and Xingguo going to die? Zhao Fei was silent, her tears flowed out quickly, her soft body trembled and choked up. Lin Feng gave Dainan a wink. Dainan reluctantly supported Zhao Fei's shoulders, and said softly, don't cry. Lin Feng just said very reasonable, if it really doesn't work, you can only make a new choice, you and Xingguo can't turn into butterflies and fly in the sky. Lin Feng was about to leave the store, he said, give me the recorder. Dainan said, no. Lin Feng said, it's useless for you to take this, and you're not going to the court to file a lawsuit. Dainan said, I want to listen to King Zhu. Lin Feng said, what are you doing for her? This matter has nothing to do with her, don't tell her. Dainan said in a coquettish voice, your performance is so good, is it okay to let her appreciate your eloquence? Lin Feng said, it's best not to tell her. Dainan said, I have decided, let her listen. Lin Fengzin said, I took off your pants, you won't let her hear it, but he couldn't take off Dainan's pants in front of Zhao Fei in the store. Afternoon. While writing the words, Lin Feng also thought, should Tian Qingzu and Chang Yaxing have a meal together? Can Chang Yaxing's attitude towards life affect Tian Qingzu's decision? When Lin Feng reached 6,000 words, he finally made a decision to find an opportunity to invite Tian Qingzu and Chang Yaxing to have a meal together. No matter what the effect was, he had to do it. After thinking about this clearly, Lin Feng felt a lot easier in an instant. He continued to code, and the speed became faster. When he was thinking about whether to stop when he coded 10,000 words, someone knocked on the door. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 287. He opened the door, and it turned out to be Shang Yuna and Chen Lufei. If Shang Yuna appeared alone, he would not feel anything, but Chen Lufei also followed, which made him very depressed. Lin Feng said, why are you two here? Chen Lufiai's mouth is really strong enough. She didn't wait for Shang Yuna to speak, she spoke first. I was just passing by, but Yuna insisted on coming up to see you. I'm afraid you are not her boyfriend anymore. She was a hooligan, so she came along. Lin Feng sneered, it's enough for you to take care of your husband Li He, don't take care of me and Yun Na, otherwise I won't be a hooligan to her, but it's very likely that I will play a hooligan to you. Chen Lufiai's face sank, and she said coldly, how dare you? Try playing a rogue with me? I'll call the police immediately. Lin Feng's hand immediately squeezed Chen Lufiai's chest. Her chest was not as big as Shang Yuna's, but it was still very soft. Oh help! Chen Lufiai had to shout, because Lin Feng pinched her and hurt her, causing her tears to flow out like rain. Shang Yuna was shocked. She didn't expect that Lin Feng would squeeze Chen Lufiai's chest hard in front of her. It must have hurt, otherwise the reaction wouldn't be so big. Lin Feng, you bastard, what are you doing? Shang Yuna's pink fist hit Lin Feng, and Lin Feng didn't want Shang Yuna to hit him at this time, so he avoided it. Shang Yuna made a call and saw that Chen Lufiai had already taken out her mobile phone and wanted to dial 110, she quickly grabbed her hand and said anxiously, Lufiai, don't get excited, Lin Feng was just joking, you really want the police to take him away? Chen Lufiai said coldly, you see now, what is your ex-boyfriend? He's a hooligan. He actually molested me, I have to call the police. Shang Yuna grabbed Chen Lufiai's phone with great force, and deleted the 11 that had been pressed. He shouted, enough. You have more to finish. If you insist on calling the police, that's fine. Then the two of us will no longer be friends. Chen Lufiai was stunned for a moment. She didn't expect Shang Yuna to threaten her with each other's friendship. She didn't expect Shang Yuna and Lin Feng to break up with him. Chen Lufiai said, give me your phone. Shang Yuna said, do you still want to call the police? Chen Lufiai said, I don't call the police anymore, but I don't want to stay here anymore, I'm leaving. Shang Yuna gave her the phone back. Chen Lufiai snorted coldly and left quickly. Shang Yuna said, you are not allowed to hide, let me hit you a few times. Lin Feng said, you are not my girlfriend anymore, you are not qualified to hit me. Shang Yuna gave a wry smile, and instead of raising her fists, she sat down on the sofa. The slender legs wrapped in black leggings are even more beautiful. Lin Feng sat over, put his hand on Shang Yuna's lap, caressed gently, and said with a smile, my ex-girlfriend, what are you doing here this time? Shang Yuna put Lin Feng's hand aside and said angrily, since I'm not your girlfriend anymore. I'm not qualified to hit you, then you're not my boyfriend, and you're not qualified to touch me. It's fine if you don't touch you, anyway, I can't be without 2 caddies of meat, tell me, what are you doing here with me, Lin Feng said. Exercising the power of the second landlord. I found out that it's really troublesome for me to live here. Your sister will exercise the power of the main landlord in a while, and you will exercise the power of the second landlord in a while. When can I exercise the rights of a tenant? Lin Feng said. Shang Yuna laughed, and a moment later Lin Feng also laughed and asked her, is she really serious? No, I just came to see you. How are you doing recently? How is your progress with King Zhu? Hearing that Shang Yuna mentioned Tian Qingzu again, Lin Feng felt it. Shang Yuna didn't mean to reconcile with him, but liked that he and Tian Qingzu could be together. Lin Feng said, Qingzu and I are just ordinary friends. In my eyes, she is more like a younger sister. Shang Yuna said, don't play brother and sister games with her, it's very boring, and it will be boring in the end, you hurry up and let her be your girlfriend. She likes you, as long as you guide a little, you can succeed. Lin Feng said, whether I guide her is my business, whether I let her be a girlfriend is also my business, and you can ignore my private affairs in the future. Shang Yuna sighed softly, It seems that I was afraid of you when I was your girlfriend, but now I'm doing it for your own good, you can't know what's wrong. Are you really doing it for my good? Lin Feng said. Then let me ask you, do you have a boyfriend? Lin Feng said. No. Aren't you afraid of becoming a leftover girl? Lin Feng said. A beautiful woman like me, even if she becomes a leftover girl, is still a very good leftover girl. She is more mature and more mature than her beauty, and will be valued by more successful people. You don't have to worry about it. I'm really confident Lin Feng can already be sure that until now, Shang Yuna has no new goals. Of course, he has no intention of reconciling with Shang Yuna. Since it has proved inappropriate, even if it is reconciled there will be splits, which is not good for each other, but he still said, I want to kiss. It seems that after we broke up, you are very hungry. I think you not only want to kiss, but also that. You can see it all. Lin Feng hugged Shang Yuna's waist and pressed her onto the sofa. Lin Feng felt the outline of Shang Yuna's towering chest, and at the same time, Fashion Yuna's lower abdomen also felt Lin Feng's tall and straight. That is the outline that can make Lin Feng intoxicated. That is the tall and straight that can make Shang Yuna fascinated. Lin Feng was looking into Shang Yuna's eyes, and Shang Yuna was also looking into Lin Feng's eyes. Shang Yuna gasped and said, I think you should go to the beautiful bamboo, you can kiss her, and when the time comes, you can also be her. Lin Feng said, but now it's you who is under me. Lin Feng kissed Shang Yuna's red lips. Shang Yuna didn't dodge or resist. Her red lips quickly opened, allowing Lin Feng's tongue to slide in. During the kiss, Lin Feng was also stroking Shang Yuna's chest to the fullest, and quickly took off her upper body clothes, and took off the chest photo and threw it aside. Soft to touch. Feel the elasticity. Delicate skin, warm heat, that kind of taste, very wonderful. I felt that Lin Feng was going to take off her panties. Shang Yuna grabbed his hand, but released it after a while. Lin Feng smoothly took off the leggings that tightly wrapped Shang Yuna's slender legs and threw them aside, and quickly tore them off again. Her touched the wetness. Oh ah! The moment Lin Feng rushed in, Shang Yuna shouted, not because of pain, but because it is too full. Very surging. Very violent. Lin Feng had no intention of showing mercy at all. He lashed out at Shang Yuna's wet body and rolled from the sofa to the ground, and finally ended up on the ground with enthusiasm. The ground was cleaned by Dainan yesterday to help Lin Feng. At this time, there was no waste, but there was a lot of dust. After rolling over enthusiastically, Lin Feng and Shang Yuna had a lot of dust on their bodies. Shang Yuna complained, you're so annoying. It's good to go to bed. You have to be on the ground. Look, my body is dirty. Lin Feng said. Just take a shower. You, the second landlord, always exercise power, but you don't seem to have taken a shower in this rental room, so let's take a shower now. Shang Yuna said, I'm not used to bathing here, so I'd better wait until I go back. After wiping her body, Shang Yuna lifted her panties, put on her leggings, and quickly put on her upper body clothes. He sighed lightly, now my sister has moved to live with Lao Lu, and when I return home, I will always feel lonely, and I will be afraid in the dead of night. Lin Feng said, your sister has also found a home, and we should be happy for her. I also hope that you can find a home soon. Although you are a very beautiful beauty, you are a little embarrassed now. If you want it, you have to come to your ex-boyfriend me. Shang Yuna's pink fist hit Lin Feng. He said coldly, I made you comfortable, but you still ridiculed me, aren't you a little too mean? Lin Feng, let me say it. When the monk Yuna was stupefied just now, Lin Feng worked very hard and felt comfortable, but at this time, his mood was a little heavy. Lin Feng said, Yun Na, although I'm not your boyfriend anymore, it's okay to be a loyal listener. Just say whatever you want, I'll listen carefully. After listening to what you just said, my heart is very warm, although we have broken up, although we will never be boyfriend and girlfriend again, but my impression of you is still very good, and I will never forget you for the rest of my life. Do you believe it? I believe, because I will never forget you in my life, Lin Feng said. Don't think I'm a woman who can't bear it, even if I've experienced that kind of pleasure, even if I don't have with a man for a few years, I can bear it. The reason why I did it with you again is to pass this way to communicate with you. You think the fate between us shouldn't have ended so soon, but it ended early, so you want to continue to communicate with me in this warm way, Lin Feng said. Almost, that's it? I understand, you still want to continue to maintain this relationship with me, not a relationship between men and women, but you can do it a few times occasionally, Lin Feng said. This may affect your finding a new boyfriend, Lin Feng Deo. Will not. Your good friend Chen Lufei will taunt you and make you feel ashamed, Lin Feng said. I'm not afraid, in fact, Chen Lufei's life. Shang Yuna smiled and did not continue. Lin Feng really wanted to hear it. He said, are you trying to say that Chen Lufei's life is not easy? Is there something wrong with the marriage of Chen Lufei and Li He? It's nothing, don't think about it, I just said it casually. In the past, that woman Chen Lufei encouraged you to break up with me. She always thought that I was not worthy of you, and that I was a man who didn't listen to you. Didn't Li He listen to her very much? Didn't she take Li He very seriously? Is it tight? Why is there a problem? Lin Feng said. Of course Li He listens to Lu Fei's words very much. Apart from that, Li He is not a man to pick, Shang Yuna said. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 288. Lin Feng laughed. He really didn't expect that Li He would not be able to do that. In this way, Chen Lufei, a woman who takes being able to hold her husband as a kind of arrogance, is not very happy. There is not much pleasure in life, where can she be happy? Maybe her behavior has not derailed, but her fantasy has been derailed countless times. Maybe Chen Lufei fantasized about a strong man she saw on the road, maybe Chen Lufei fantasized about one of her colleagues, maybe Chen Lufei fantasized about a foreigner covered in hair. Lin Feng said, if a man is not good in that aspect, even if he is excellent in other aspects, it will be difficult to hold the hearts of the women around him. I think Chen Lufei is about to cheat. It's not that Li He can't do it at all, it's just not too strong. He can still do it for a few minutes each time. Lu Fei has not cheated in the past, and she will never cheat in the future. She is not the kind of person who cheats. Whether a woman will cheat is not written on her face, and it is hard to predict what a dissatisfied woman will do, but it has nothing to do with me, no matter what Chen Lufei will do in the future. I'm just a fool, my impression of that woman is extremely bad. Oh, I seem to be exercising my rights as a tenant, should you, the second landlord, leave, Lin Feng said. You bastard. I still want to code and calligraphy, and I will contact you when I have a chance, Lin Feng said. Maybe I'll invite you to my house in the future. I live alone now, and sometimes I think, oh, then I'll go first. Shang Yuna left. Lin Feng sat on the chair again, and all that flashed in his mind was the scene of him attacking Shang Yuna's soft and wet body. Shang Yuna's uncontrollable appearance gave him a sense of accomplishment, which was the same as Fashion Yuna's wetness. And fullness also made him extremely comfortable. When Shang Yuna was not his girlfriend, he had a lot of ambiguity with Shang Yuna. When Shang Yuna became his girlfriend, he got Shang Yuna's first daughter. Shang Yuna was in pain, but he was relieved. Shang Yuna told him that it was actually painful at the same time, but after that, Shang Yuna gradually stopped hurting, and the two of them became more enthusiastic. Until they broke up, he couldn't remember how many times Shang Yuna had sex. Second rate. But it is definitely not countless times, because he and Shang Yuna haven't been together for a long time. Break up now. Shang Yuna still wanted to have with him. Lin Feng was a little helpless and a little cool. After all, Shang Yuna's body was very good. Since she wanted to, she would use her a few more times before she found a new boyfriend. Why don't you code another 2,000 words, so there are 12,000 words today. If you come again in the evening, you can reach 15,000 words. According to his current manuscript fee of 1,000 words and 100 words, today's income will be 1,500 before tax. As soon as Shang Yuna walked out of the gate of the community, she saw Chen Lufei standing more than 10 meters away. She was still there. Shang Yuna came over with a smile on her face, and Chen Lufei looked gloomy. He said coldly, "Why did it take you so long to come out? You didn't do that with Lin Feng, did you?" "I don't want to hide it from you, I just did it with him." "Yuna, you are the most beautiful female teacher at Beijing Normal University. You are a noble and elegant being. How could you do such a shameless thing? If Lin Feng is still your boyfriend, it doesn't matter what you do with him. But Lin Feng is no longer your boyfriend. You still do that with him, aren't you?" "I want it. I gave it to him before anyway, so I continued to give it to him before I have a new boyfriend. This is cleaner than giving it to other unrelated men. I don't need to be responsible for anyone now. Just be responsible for myself. To be worthy of myself is to be worthy of everyone," Shang Yuna said. "You, really, surprise me. But even if you do it with him, it won't take so long." "Just finished." "How long?" Chen Lufei asked in astonishment. "About an hour. Several times." Once Shang Yuna said. Chen Lufei was about to faint immediately. It seems that Lin Feng's ability is really powerful. He didn't brag about it for more than an hour at a time. She didn't quite believe it when Shang Yuna said it before, but she believes it now. "Lin Feng, you bastard, how can you be so much stronger than my husband in that respect? It takes more than an hour at a time, that's really warm. You are such a bastard, you shouldn't be so tough, you should be a douchebag." She couldn't hold on for a minute. Chen Lufei felt very depressed when she thought about it. 7 o'clock. It hasn't gotten dark yet, but the city's lights have already lit up in advance. It may be because it is still a little hot, or it may be because I walked too fast just now. When Tian Qingzu arrived at Fengnan fashion store, a layer of forehead floated. Thin sweat, this fragrant sweat made her even more attractive. Upside down the faces of all beings. An inviolable mind. It is so good that it makes many men jealous, and it is so hot that it makes many men panic. The hotness brought by purity is the most likely to make men panic. Up to now, the beautiful bamboo is still pure, which is really not easy. "Sister Nan, it's not too late for me." No. Nan glanced at his watch. The beauty zoo was just 2 minutes late and became nervous. "It's clear that sooner or later, you love to take care of me. Even if you arrive at 7:30, it's not too soon in Sister Nan's eyes, let alone it's just past 7:00. Nan said. "How's business?" "It's not bad. The turnover has reached 1,300 by now. Let's work harder at night to see if we can reach 2,000 yuan," Nan said excitedly. 20 minutes passed before I knew it. 3 groups of people came in, but none of them bought anything. Tian Qingzu was a little anxious, because she also wanted to make the store's turnover higher, and she didn't have too much. Considering the profit ratio of the small store, she just knew that as long as the turnover was high, Nan would be very happy. "Qingzu, I'll tell you something good." "What?" Tian Qingzu was puzzled. "Lin Feng's wonderful performance." "Oh, voice recorder, you recorded Brother Feng's wonderful performance." Did he tell a joke? He told a lot of funny jokes, Tian Qingzu laughed. It's not a joke, it's a very sturdy performance. You'll know it after you've heard it. Dinan has already started to play the contents of the voice recorder. Tian Qingzu was a little puzzled at first, but she quickly understood what was going on and gradually integrated into it. Really wonderful. It is indeed very sturdy. Tian Qingzu's mouth showed a bright smile, and he sincerely admired Lin Feng. Brother Feng's eloquence is really powerful, he is simply an excellent orator. Lin Feng was originally a talented person, with good kung fu, good literary talent, and good eloquence. Such good men are rare, you have to hurry up. Dinan smiled. Sister Nan, you say this again. I'm a little embarrassed. I haven't thought about it yet. What's more, this kind of thing is not my attitude. It depends on whether Brother Feng has me in his heart. Tian Qingzu. The complexion was crimson, warm and moving. Lin Feng definitely has you in his heart. How did you know? He told you. Tian Qingzu looked a little excited. Yeah, he told me that he likes you. Lin Feng didn't explicitly say this to Dinan before, but Dinan seemed to be telling the truth at this time. Tian Qingzu's beautiful face was even redder than before. The pure crimson made people feel distressed. She couldn't help but say in her heart, Brother Feng, you really said that to Sister Nan, I'm very happy. Sister Nan, do you really think that I and Brother Feng are very suitable? I have never been in love before, and I don't even know what it feels like to be in love. If Brother Feng and I can't fall in love, will we not even be friends? If you fall in love with Lin Feng, no matter what the outcome is, it will not affect the friendship between the two of you, but what is certain is that this is definitely a very good memory, and I think if you fall in love with Lin Feng, the possibility of flowering and fruiting is very large. Dinan said. Bloom and bear fruit? In Tian Qingzu's view, only when she has a relationship with Lin Feng and has Lin Feng's children can it be called flowering and fruiting. I feel shy when I think about it. Fortunately, a customer came in at this time. Tian Qingzu didn't need to continue talking about this with Dinan, and hurried to introduce things to the customer. Dinan pursed her lips and smiled. She found that the effect of what she said just now was very good. Beauty Bamboo is already very emotional. If Lin Feng confesses to Beauty Bamboo tonight, I don't know if it will be successful. Someone who has a girlfriend. If it is to do that with the beautiful Bamboo, it must be a very ecstasy enjoyment. Dinan was so considerate of Lin Feng that she even wanted to run back and tell Lin Feng that he would confess to Tian Qingzu tonight. Under this strong impulsive trend, Dinan even walked out of the store and went to the door. He ran for almost 20 meters in front of him, his mind was a little clearer, and then he ran back. The customer just bought 2 flowers and just went out. Tian Qingzu also came over and asked in confusion, Sister Nan, what happened to you just now? Dinan said, nothing. Tian Qingzu said, why did you suddenly run out? Dinan said, I had a bad throat just now, I'm afraid to vomit into the store, so. Sister Nan, I will screw you. Tian Qingzu's slender jade hand really twisted against Dinan's arm, and it was quite hard. Dinan felt the pain, but she smiled brightly. In the past, Tian Qingzu had always respected her very much, and he seldom joked, let alone pinched her with his hands. Although it hurt at that moment, it meant that she and Tian Qingzu were closer. Dinan said leisurely, oh, there don't seem to be many people here at night. It seems that today's turnover can't reach 2,000. Tian Qingzu tangled, Sister Nan, you ran out just now, did you want to find Brother Feng? No, absolutely not. You must just want to find him, and then want him to confess to me, right? Tian Qingzu said aggressively. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 289. I really. Dinan was a little embarrassed and didn't know what to say. With what I know about Brother Feng, I think he is a very calm person a lot of the time. Even if you tell him and ask him to confess to me, he probably won't do it. Maybe he thinks that he and I are not suitable. Tian Qingzu said. Qingzu, but I think you and Lin Feng are very suitable, and I also want the two of you to get together as soon as possible. I was a little impulsive just now, so I ran out to find him and let him confess to you tonight, but didn't I come back again, Dinan finally explained. Let's go with the flow, it's more real this way. Tian Qingzu was a little sad. Maybe you are right, Dinan said. After 9 o'clock in the evening, Lin Feng finished typing and wrote 16,000 words, which exceeded his expectations. He was in a good mood. He lit a cigarette and started smoking. He knew that Dinan had let Tian Qingzu listen to the contents of the recorder. It is estimated that Tian Qingzu will admire him very much. The more this is the case, the more Lin Feng is afraid to appear in front of Tian Qingzu. He really wants to be shy in front of her, but he feels that it is inappropriate to be shy in front of her. This kind of taste is very strange, and it also makes Lin Feng very entangled. I don't plan to continue coding this evening. Is it possible to watch the film? Forget it, Lin Feng finally went out and planned to go to the store to take a look. When Lin Feng went to Fengnan fashion store, there were several people shopping. Dinan and Tian Qingzu were introducing to the customers together. Lin Feng walked in very lightly. Dinan and Tian Qingzu both turned their backs to him, but at the moment he came in, Dinan seemed to smell a very special smell, turned back and smiled at Lin Feng, and then continued introduce things to customers. Several customers went out and spent a total of more than 300 yuan. Today's turnover of the small shop reached 1,800, and it was more than an hour before closing, Dinan felt at this time. It is very likely that it will sell for 2,000 by the time it closes. The turnover is relatively satisfactory, but the current state of Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu makes her a little dissatisfied. Since they are both interested, then it's fine. Life is short, the time of youth is even shorter, and the time to enjoy romance is even shorter. Even if a man and a woman are good from birth, the time they spend together is very limited, not to mention that it is impossible for a man and woman to start from birth, and the cutest will have to wait until kindergarten. I didn't know who each other was before, but now I know and understand each other, and I really want to get together. Holding hands romantically and stunned for a while, why can't it be earlier? Dinan has been pondering. At this time, her beautiful face is a little blurry, and her slender legs are shaking a few times when she walks back and forth, and words that are already on her lips may come out at any time. Sister Nan, I have a stomachache, can I leave early? Qingzu. What's wrong with you? Dinan worried. My stomach hurts. Through the crimson of Tian Qingzu's beautiful face, Dinan knew that she was lying, and smiled. My stomach hurts, then Sister Nan will take you back to the dormitory first. Sister Nan, you don't have to send me off, you shouldn't encounter bad people tonight, Tian Qingzu said. Well, okay. Then you go first, Dinan said. Tian Qingzu's footsteps were in a hurry, and her figure quickly disappeared from the store. Lin Feng frowned slightly and said, Qingzu's state seems to be a little abnormal. Did you say something to her? No. It must be said, she is too embarrassed. Have you set me up with her again? Lin Feng said. Can we stop talking about this now? Don't ruin my mood, kid, or customers will come later. I don't even know how to introduce it, Dinan said angrily. Lin Feng knew very well that Nan's anger in this era was a form of avoidance, so let's not talk about it for now. Lit a cigarette, only to find out when Lin Feng exhaled a breath of smoke. His body is very tall and straight. I don't know whether it is Dinan's hotness that makes him tall and straight, or Tian Qingzu's purity that makes him tall and straight. He quickly understood that Dinan's hotness and Tian Qing's purity made him stand tall and straight. The Fengnan fashion store closed today, and the turnover really exceeded 2,000, but Dinan was not as happy as expected. Walking on the road with Lin Feng, the warm wind blew on her face was hot, the heart is also hot. Walking on the overpass, Lin Feng patted Dinan's buttocks and said with a smile, "What's wrong with you? Don't say a word." Dinan said angrily, "You bastard, don't pat me on the ass, don't grab what should be caught quickly, and you will regret it when she flies away." Lin Feng pinched Dinan's buttocks, it was soft and warm, and the hand was always so good. Dinan took 2 steps forward, Lin Feng's hand was still holding her buttocks. Dinan's buttocks twisted hard, but he still couldn't break free from Lin Feng's hand, so he reached out and moved Lin Feng's hand aside. "You are sick, what are you holding onto my butt? Didn't you just want me to grab what I should grab? So I grabbed your ass. Damn it! You're going to die." Dinan raised his slender legs and kicked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng avoided them and ran forward. Dinan chased after him and kept calling, "Me to kick you to death." The slender legs kicked out several times, but failed to kick to him. Lin Feng returned to his master bedroom, and Dinan returned to her partition room. Dinan looked angry, but Lin Feng knew that she was not really angry. Lin Feng thought that Dinan would arrive at his room within half an hour, but it was almost midnight, and Dinan did not come in. Maybe Dinan won't be here. Thinking like this, Lin Feng took off his clothes, only a pair of shorts, lying on the bed and reading novels on his mobile phone. He has a habit. When reading novels on his mobile phone, he first clicks on his own book to look at the data. He sees that today, it has increased by nearly 300,000 hits. The effect is very good. This is his career, which makes him very happy. Happy, a pleasant smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. When Lin Feng opened an interesting urban book and planned to continue reading, the door opened, and Dinan in a thin night dress walked in. Lin Feng could see clearly that Dinan's night dress still had a chest photo and the trousers are well defined, beautiful and voluptuous, making his body extraordinarily tall and straight. "Come down, boy. What, do you want to force me to see me? If you really want to force me to see me, then come to the bed," Lin Feng said. "I'm not joking with you, let's chat." "Why don't you lie on the bed and talk?" "I'm not joking with you, I just want you to lie beside me," Lin Feng said. "I'm afraid you'll get on me. I am the sky. I won't have with you tonight," Lin Fengzin said, "but one day in the future, I may have with you. At that time, I will not go to the sky, but on your body." Stunned, Dinan walked over and stood beside the bed for almost 5 minutes. The blurred gaze stayed on Lin Feng's face, and then she sat on the bed, and her soft body slanted and fell to Lin Feng's side instantly. The two bodies did not touch, but Lin Feng felt a fragrant heat. What he saw was a beautiful face and a graceful body wrapped in a thin night dress. At this time, what Lin Feng wanted to do most was to tear off Dinan's pants. Lifting her slender legs, she charged hard into her body. But he just said that Dinan won't go to heaven tonight, so he can't do it. At the same time, Lin Feng also thought that if he and Dinan did that, he would be very hard, even if Dinan yelled. Beg him to lighten up, he will also be very hard. When it is over, maybe Dinan will complain with tears, "You are so cruel, you want to kill me." Then he would say, after thinking for so long, he finally succeeded. Must work hard. It's a pity that until now, these scenarios only exist in fantasy. Lin Feng is a person living in reality, so he must face reality. He doesn't know when he and Dinan's bodies will be able to merge warm up together. All kinds of postures, all kinds of surging, as if everything around does not exist. Dinan said, "Kingzu already likes you very much, you can confess to her at any time. She may become your girlfriend at any time. At that time, you will be very comfortable, and King Zhu has one more reason to stay in Beijing. People around you will envy you. Such a wonderful effect, don't you want to realize it sooner? Lin Feng said, wonderful can come, and wonderful can also leave. If wonderful eventually leaves, what should I do? Dainan said, with what I know about you, I think you have always been a very confident person, maybe it's because people with high kung fu are very confident. But I found that when you mention King Zhu, you are not so confident. Lin Feng said, King Zhu is very pure, and even said that she is very simple. She is a girl who will be shy and embarrassed when she hears the word Bian Tao. She has suffered so much before, how can you let me have the heart to attack her? Dainan said, if you don't attack her, she is more likely to return to the back mountain town of Shu province, and a man over there will attack her. Maybe that man's appearance will be very ugly, maybe that man's the thing is small, maybe the man only takes a bath once a month. Although it was an illusion, Lin Feng became angry when he heard it. This kind of unbearable man was not qualified to touch Tian King's body, not even his fingers. You are bullshitting, Lin Feng said. I'm talking about a very legitimate light. There is no justification for bullshit. Yes, my nonsense just now is very legitimate, you bastard, you won't be sober unless I give you 2 punches. Dainan's pink fist raised, punched Lin Feng's chest, and soon punched his stomach again. Lin Feng said, if you have the ability, you can continue to fight down. Dainan said, not afraid to interrupt you. Lin Feng said that the elasticity is very good, and it can't break you off the bed. Dainan said, every time you tease me, you will be very energetic. When can you use this kind of energy on King Zhu? Lin Feng said, I have to wait for me to think about it clearly. It is no trivial matter which way my relationship with King Zhu will develop. If I get on with her, get on her, and then she leaves, it is equivalent to me playing with her. It's a certain type of girl, it's okay to play, but she's a beautiful bamboo. Let's not say that I've a few women now, even if I've never a woman, even if I'm intoxicated with the fantasy of men and women, the first boy, I would not easily have that kind of relationship with King Zhu. Dainan said, suddenly found that you are great. Lin Feng said, I have been great for many years. Dainan said, have you been great since you were a fertilized egg? Lin Feng's answer was to touch his chest hard. Oh asshole. I'm breast, not dough, please, take it easy. Lin Feng pretended not to hear anything, lifted Dainan's night dress, kneaded against her chest for a long time, then kissed her chest, and touched her panties. The teasing is moist. It feels soft. Dainan's soft and graceful body was twisting, Dainan was gasping for breath, but Lin Feng always used his hand. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 290. Finally calmed down, looking at the ceiling, Dainan was very confused, and gradually, her tears flowed out. Very crystal tears with a strange temperature. Dainan shed tears, but Lin Feng vaguely seemed to hear the sound of the stream flowing. Lin Feng said, I've already been a person who has lost love twice. I definitely don't have the idea of becoming a monk. People like me can't be a monk. I really hope that my third love will last long until I get the certificate. Have a home. Dainan said, I understand, then who do you most want to be your third girlfriend? Lin Feng said, you. Dainan said, this is even more unreliable than you becoming a monk. Even if I watch you shaved and see a ring scar on your head, I will not marry you. Lin Feng said, really cruel. Dainan said, more ruthless than your dragon and snake legs. Lin Feng said, what you said just now is 100 times more ruthless than my dragon and snake legs, and it has the power to destroy the dead. Dainan said, let you kiss, let you touch, even let you take off your pants, am I still ruthless? My heart is soft to you, and my body is soft to you. Men all over the world, I only treat you like this, and all the women in the world, I am the only one who treats you like this. Lin Feng said, what you said just now is true, not hypocritical at all, but can you let me do it once? He felt that maybe after he came here once and had a real skin-to-skin relationship, maybe Dainan would consider the crucial question of whether to be his girlfriend. Although Dainan's meaning just now is very clear, he will not be his girlfriend under any circumstances, but he still has fantasies about Dainan, no matter what Dainan has done before, but after Dainan became his wife, will make him comfortable for the rest of his life. She is clearly a beautiful and hot woman. She's clearly an empathetic woman. She was clearly a woman who thought about him wholeheartedly. If you get such a wife, how can you feel uncomfortable? Even if Dainan and Zhao Fei had played love games before, so what? Think with a bigger heart, Zhao Fei is a woman. Not a man. So far, apart from him, no other man has touched Dainan's chest and wet areas. Dainan's voice began to tremble, what did you just say? Lin Feng said, I said let's come once. Dainan said, it's not the first time you've made such a request. By the way, you said just now that you've been a man who has lost love twice, but you're also a man who has been passionate many times. You think you're pitiful. You should be glad that you are very beautiful. Lin Feng said, but I've never done that with you, and I don't know what it's like to do that with you. Dainan said, it's enough to let you kiss and let you touch, so you want to rush into my body and try. Lin Feng said, I really want to. Dainan said, let me think for 5 minutes. Lin Feng's heart was beating wildly. He didn't know what kind of decision Dainan would make in 5 minutes. If Dainan asked him to go up, he would go up immediately. 5 minutes later, Dainan sat up and said, I went back to rest. Lin Feng said, oh. Dainan left his room. Lin Feng's in said, you still won't let me in. In fact, even if you don't want to be my girlfriend, you can let me you. You're so wet, you've never been with a man, and I don't believe you don't want to. Lin Feng believes that after having that kind of relationship, he and Dainan can still communicate as before, but Dainan thinks, once there is that kind of relationship, she and Lin Feng will not be the same as before. At this time, Dainan was already infatuated with Lin Feng, and she was worried that she would become more infatuated with Lin Feng after having that kind of relationship. A few days later, Tian Qingzu would go to Fengnan fashion store as a shopping guide every night, and Lin Feng could see her every night. Every time he saw her, Lin Feng's heart couldn't be calm. But her eyes couldn't help but stay on her chest for a few seconds. Tian Qingzu's chest is towering, soft, and delicate, and those top-quality chests are always tightly wrapped. Even the snow-white skin and deep ravines under the neck are not easily exposed. This is a kind of modesty. This is self-love. It's an endless temptation. Because I couldn't see it, I really wanted to see it, so I was attracted. Lin Feng had not confessed to Tian Qingzu, but he was indeed attracted. Sometimes Tian Qingzu looked at him calmly, sometimes Tian Qingzu looked at him emotionally, and sometimes Tian Qingzu looked at him with a confused look. Neither of them confessed to each other, and at this moment it seemed that the distance from each other was a little further than before. Maybe it will be calm all the time, maybe the extraordinary calm will be followed by infinite enthusiasm. Dainan was very worried about Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu, but she didn't say anything to the two of them in the past few days. She had already said what she should have said. If she continued to talk, it might be counterproductive. Noon. After eating, Lin Feng brought the fried rice to the store. Seeing that Dainan was staring in an inexplicable direction in a daze, Lin Feng put the fried rice on the cashier and said with a smile, "What do you think?" Dainan said, "I'm thinking, we should share dividends again. This time, we can divide the dividends for 2 months at once. I have already calculated that each person is 12,000. Lin Feng said, "Okay, then the dividends will be distributed tonight. You must have a great sense of accomplishment." Dainan smiled and said, "It's a great sense of achievement, but it would be great if you could earn more. The business effect of the previous period was very good, but on average, each person received less than 10,000 yuan, and it took only 2 months. Each person is 12,000 yuan, and in a year, neither of us can make 100,000 yuan from this small shop." Lin Feng said that the size of this small store is limited, only 30 square meters, and it sells worthless things. It has been very successful to have this effect. After a year, we will find a way to find a bigger storefront and sell it. Clothing. Dainan was so excited that even her smile became charming. "Really, do you really even have a plan for a year from now?" Lin Feng said, "Don't look at the fact that I spend most of my time in the code word, but I have thought about it, and our business will be bigger and bigger." Dainan's eyes were very warm, as if tears were flashing, and he said sweetly, "I am honored to have such a good partner as you." Lin Feng said, "If I can have such a good girlfriend as you, I will be even more honored. Can you give me the opportunity to be honored?" Dainan grabbed a magazine and hit Lin Feng's head, but when the magazine was a few centimeters away from Lin Feng's head, her hand stopped and she said coldly, "If you mention this again, I'm really angry. It's impossible, you always mention it. Is it interesting?" Lin Feng smiled awkwardly, "Then I'll go first. If there is anything, you can contact me." Dainan said, "I don't think there will be anything wrong. Go and rest. After you rest, you can write with your heart." Walking on the road, Lin Feng always felt a little strange. He even felt that Dainan would never find a boyfriend in his life and would never get married. But how likely is that? Dainan is still very young, and there is still a long way to go in the future. Could it be that she will live her whole life alone? Lin Feng even thought of letting Dainan be his lover, the kind of lover that is very different from his girlfriend, but this idea just flashed in his mind. Back in the master bedroom, Lin Feng lay on the bed and fell asleep after a while. He dreamed of Wang Wei, a female college classmate who was very suitable to be his girlfriend but never wanted to be his girlfriend. What appeared in the dream was a scene that had never been seen before. It seemed to be ambiguous, romantic, and nervous. Maybe these things will happen in the future, maybe these things will never happen. Lin Feng used to believe that dreams are magical phenomena, and dreams can predict some future scenarios, but not all of them. When he woke up, it was already past 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He sat up with his arms supported, and after a while, Lin Feng went to the bathroom to wash his face, and then sat on the chair and turned on the computer. Opened his book page and saw the rapidly improving data and various messages urging updates. Lin Feng couldn't believe that this book could create such a huge miracle. Maybe to many top gods, this is nothing, but to him that said, it is indeed a great miracle. Thinking of Yang Chunbeixiu again, the woman he still doesn't know who it is, Lin Feng's heart is very warm and sad. In the past, he often dreamed of white snow in the spring. Whenever the white snow in the spring appeared in his dreams, his face was blurred, so he couldn't tell who it was, but her figure was slender and graceful, with tall and a slender figure. Both legs were glowing with intoxicating spring light. In the dream, Lin Feng even stroked Yang Chunbeixiu's chest. The soft and tender were very elastic. He could even hear Yang Chunbeixiu's breathing, but he couldn't see her face. Lin Feng has not dreamed of spring and snow in the past few days. He is very afraid that the woman who disappeared from his netizens will even disappear from his dreams, and then disappear completely. He will keep looking for it. He believes that one day in the future, he will be able to find Yang Chunbake's you, and then say, it's you. So we know each other. Lin Feng finally started typing on the keyboard. The speed was not slow. He planned to code 8,000 words this afternoon, and then he could easily pass 10,000 words at night. He was always hardworking and he never slackened. When it was almost 5 o'clock, Lin Feng had already coded out 8,000 words. Only then did he notice that the head of the beauty editor, Wen Qing, was flashing. He opened it and saw that it was a message sent half an hour ago. Did not notice. Wen Qing is not sick, are you there? Ask how long your book is expected to be. Lin Feng, it is estimated that I can still write 2 million words, that is, it can be updated until New Year's Day. Wenqing is not a disease, the effect is so good, you can consider further enriching the outline and writing as much as possible. If you can write more than 8 million words, it will be great. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 291. There are less than 4 million words now. If you want to write 8 million words, there are still more than 3 million pages, which is very difficult without watering. Lin Feng made a smile first, and then sent a message, I don't have the habit of watering, so it is very difficult to write 8 million words, but it is very possible that the total length exceeds 6 million words. Of course, I am not saying that all novels with more than 8 million words in length are pouring water, and some people are really good at writing. Wen Qing is not sick and first posted a cute picture, and then the news, come on, no matter what the length should not be less than 6 million words, the company is very optimistic about you, and I am very optimistic about you. If you open a new book, wait until early next year. Well, it's time to discuss the idea. Lin Feng, okay. Wen Qing wasn't sick and didn't chat with Lin Feng about any personal topics. Lin Feng wanted to ask her how she was feeling recently, but it was the working hours of the beauty editor-in-chief, so it was inappropriate to ask her this. Lin Feng's cell phone rang, and he was very excited when he saw that it was Li Xingguo. It seemed that Li Yang had loosened Li Xingguo's bond, but he didn't know whether he agreed to Li Xingguo and Zhao Fei's certificate. Lin Feng picked it up and said with a smile, are you free now? Li Xingguo said excitedly, I'm free, the time you chatted with my dad was very effective. He finally made a painful decision to stop interfering with Zhao Fei and me, and agreed with us to get the certificate, but he also said, let's live together first, if you can't get through it, then leave, maybe your kid is destined to be a material for a second or third marriage. Ah, I rely on, you screwed me to death. It was definitely not Lin Feng who screwed Li Xingguo. If he wanted to repair Li Xingguo, he would naturally not screw him, but kicked him with his feet. Lin Feng also knew that Zhao Fei was by Li Xingguo's side. Just now, Zhao Fei screwed him hard, and was very dissatisfied with his mention of second or third marriage. Lin Feng said, I'm really happy for you and Zhao Fei. Since you guys are here, it's necessary to have a drink together. I'll go to the store right away. Li Xingguo made the phone call from Fengnan Fashion Store. At this time, Zhao Fei and Dainan were talking non-stop. Zhao Fei said, I used to be a wine girl, and I have seen a lot of prosperity, but it was all the prosperity of others, and it had little to do with me, and I married Empress Xingguo. I'm about to enjoy life to the fullest. Zhao Fei said that Xingguo is very interesting to me. His love for me allows me to dedicate my whole body and mind to him. I can even die for him. After I get the certificate, he will be the only man in my life. I would love him more than myself. Zhao Fei said, Dainan, hurry up and find a boyfriend, I will get the certificate with Xingguo tomorrow, but you don't have a boyfriend yet. Zhao Fei's words touched Dainan's pain point. If Zhao Fei hadn't been immersed in a kind of happiness that she had never experienced before, Dinan would have lost her temper. Dinan just smiled bleakly. And then said, "Me, who knows what my future will be like? As for the boyfriend, I haven't planned to find it yet." Zhao Fei said, "You and Lin Feng get the certificate." Dinan was more entangled than before, almost to the point where she couldn't do anything without kicking Zhao Fei, but she still held back and said with a smile, "I can only be good friends with him. I can't let him be my man." "Friend." Zhao Fei seemed to be in a hurry. Just as she was about to praise Lin Feng, Li Xingguo stopped her with a look, and Zhao Fei could only calm down by twisting her red lips. When Lin Feng arrived, he and Li Xingguo hugged each other quickly and slapped each other on the back. Li Xingguo said, "This time I asked my father to repair it hard, and the whip was lashing. It hurts too much. If it wasn't for your strength, buddy, I don't know how long the pain will be." Lin Feng said with a smile, "The harder the whip is, the more your father loves you. Uncle Li is not a sadist. He has never abused you before. He also told me before that he longed for you to become a dragon. But the more you look at it, the more you look like a bug. I told him that Xingguo must become a dragon. You can see that he is more and more like a bug. It is an illusion. Maybe Zhao Fei is a very prosperous woman. More brilliant." Li Xingguo said, "If it weren't for you, I'm afraid Zhao Fei and I would not have the chance to get the certificate." Lin Feng said, "Even without me, it is estimated that your father will eventually agree to you and Zhao Fei to obtain the certificate. My role is not as big as you think." When Lin Feng was about to give Li Xingguo a cigarette, Li Xingguo took out a high-end and exquisite box and said with a smile, "Here is a jade necklace, which I bought when I went to Pattaya, Thailand, and bought several at once. I'll give you one, of course. This is a lady's necklace, you can give it to the woman you want the most. I guess it's expensive, right? It's not much money, tens of thousands of dollars, just the friendship between our brothers, it's nothing," Li Xingguo said. "You keep it, I don't want it anymore. I didn't do anything to help you. I can't accept such an expensive gift from you. You said it just now. The friendship between the two of us has nothing to say. You gave me this a bit out of the way. You must, otherwise Zhao Fei and I will leave immediately," Li Xingguo said. Lin Feng said in his heart, "Your kid is intentional. If you give me good tobacco, wine, and tea, you can see if I want it. But you gave me a lady's necklace, what do you mean?" "Okay, then I'll accept it. Should we go for a drink?" Lin Feng said. "Have a good meal, go to Kempinski, I will treat you," Li Xingguo said. "It doesn't have to be so high-end, right?" Lin Feng said with a smile. "Necessary." Li Xingguo insisted on going to Kempinski. Lin Feng has no objection, Zhao Fei has no objection, but Dinan has a slight objection. She wants to eat nearby and then open as normal in the evening. But Dinan didn't make a decision to disappoint everyone. She agreed to go to Kempinski. At the same time, she also thought of Tian Qingzu and smiled, "Can you call Qingzu?" Lin Feng was stunned. He felt that Tian Qingzu was not suitable for this occasion. He smiled and said, "Don't call me." Dinan said, "Look at you, what's wrong with calling her? It's not your treat. Xingguo, can you call Qingzu?" Li Xingguo said, "No problem." Zhao Fei was a little upset. She didn't want Tian Qingzu to be there, she didn't even want Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu to get together, she wanted Lin Feng and Dinan to be good, but she didn't express any opinion at the moment. Li Xingguo said it just now, no problem, she couldn't refute Li Xingguo's face. Dinan dialed Tian Qingzu. Tian Qingzu was chatting with her roommate. The roommates were asking about the progress of her relationship with Lin Feng, and she was almost unable to cope. Dinan's call was a relief to Tian Qingzu. She picked it up and smiled and said, "Sister Nan, are you looking for me? Come on, let's have dinner together." "You want to invite me to dinner again?" "No, I will eat it myself," Tian Qingzu said. This time it's not me, nor Lin Feng, but Li Xingguo, Dinan said. Oh, it looks like Li Xiao is free. That's okay, I'll go there right away. Tian Qingzu looked at the three roommates again. I won't talk to you for now, I'm going out to dinner. Qingzu, your life is really different from before. Since you met Lin Feng, your life has become richer and richer. Qingzu, the three of us are a little envious of you. If the three of us ask for your amazing boyfriend in the future, you must ask him to help us. Tian Qingzu has already emphasized that now Lin Feng is not her boyfriend, the two of them just have a good relationship, but the three roommates insisted that Lin Feng was already her boyfriend, and even said behind his back that Tian Qingzu had already married her. Lin Feng has passed, and Lin Feng, a very lucky guy, has already enjoyed Tian Qingzu's pure and beautiful body. Tian Qingzu put on the high-end long dress that Lin Feng gave her, and walked gracefully on the path of Beijing Normal University, attracting the attention of countless people. Qingzu put on the long skirt again. The green bamboo is so beautiful, so full, so atmospheric, it is worthy of being the school flower. Since Qingzu and Lin Feng got together, they have become a lot more fashionable at once. People can change. Maybe Qingzu is not as pure as before. Tian Qingzu heard some comments, but she didn't care. She knew what was going on with her best, and she also hoped that her life would change to a certain extent compared to before. Tian Qingzu has arrived. Beautiful. Zhao Fei's eyes were a little dull, and she stared at Tian Qingzu for almost a minute, until Tian Qingzu's beautiful face turned as red as peach blossoms. Qingzu, you are really a super beauty. No wonder you can defeat so many beauties and become the school flower of Beijing Normal University. Zhao Fei, I'm not as good as you said. Don't be humble, or you'll be a little hypocritical. Zhao Fei mentioned hypocrisy, but Tian Qingzu was clearly a very real person, which made her even more embarrassed than before. Lin Feng said, "Can we go?" Li Xingguo made a very chic gesture. "Okay, let's go." Several people got into the Mercedes-Benz off-road vehicle. Li Xingguo drove, Zhao Fei sat next to him, and in the back seat, Dinan and Tian Qingzu sat on both sides of Lin Feng. Lin Feng surrounded the two best beauties, savoring their fragrance and savoring them breathing. With a fascinated smile on the corner of Dinan's mouth, he always kept a proper distance from Lin Feng. With the beautiful bamboo by his side, she didn't want to touch Lin Feng's body. The beautiful bamboo complexion was crimson, her breathing was slightly uneven, and her body was sitting upright, but she still touched Lin Feng's side. Lin Feng felt the softness of Beauty Bamboo's fragrant shoulders, but he did not react, as if Beauty Bamboo's fragrant shoulders hadn't touched his body, but Beauty Bamboo's heart was even more flustered than before. Could it be because he was sitting too close to Lin Feng? Why can't my heart be at peace? Kempinski Hotel is located in the business district of the embassy. The building integrates traditional culture and modern style. It is magnificent. There are Yansha Center buildings around it. It is a prosperous place. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read.